Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV, episode 30 of TMC podcast.
Nile Ranger.
Ooh, Nile Ranger. Well, bring him back to this rate.
Might as well, eh?
No, that's saying something.
Somebody.
Free agent, Nile? Eh? What's he doing these days?
Of course, he's a free agent.
Playing
He's always
for-
a free agent.
Playing for like filthy fellas or something? Or like,
Mean machine.
yeah, Mean Machine, aye. He'd be good for them. How you doing, everyone? Welcome again. Thanks for joining us here at Anarchy Brewery. Of course, we are on the beautiful beers provided here by Anarchy Brewery. This one is the classic cheat code. We are still eagerly awaiting the new release of War Beer with the away kit themed can. Hopefully, we'll have our hands on that next week. If you want to get your hands on it, you can scan that QR code in the top right corner of your screen or go to the War Flags website, which you can see on the ticker below. Without further ado, actually, can I give them a little shout out what's happening this weekend at Anarchy Brewery if you want to come along?
This Saturday, 31st of August. Isn't it? Is it the 31st of August, this Saturday?
It is, because deadline day
Oh,
is
yeah.
Friday the
of course it is.
30th,
Bloody
11
hell.
p.m.
This year's flying by. I still thought it would go in the beginning of August. But never mind. Yes, this Saturday, the 31st of August, there is a Comic-Con event here at Anarchy Brewery for all you comic nerds out there. It's just what we like. But more than that, they've got lovely beers, comics, collectibles, craft ales, lots of things. Cosplay welcomed.
Nice scran as well.
Walk-in tattoos, if that's your thing.
Walking tattoos? I haven't got a tattoo. I'll make it.
Great selection of craft ales, of course, because we're in a brewery.
Makes sense.
Nice food. Jam Jar Burgers will be here. So yeah, get yourself down to Comic-Con at Anarchy, called AnarchyCon.
Makes sense. Again.
C3Con. There you go. Lovely.
There you go. All free, and a free event afterwards as well. A free gig by Green Day. Not the Oasis.
Green Days.
I'll come back to warm up as well.
Oasis.
So, yeah.
Oasis.
Yeah, Oasis. Aye, they'll be a little warm up back before they do Wembley. Right, and we've got loads to get through. People as deadline day looms. This Friday, as I mentioned before, is the window shuts. Friday, 11 p.m. And breaking news, in the past couple of minutes, Mark Guehi starts for Crystal Palace
Third start of the season, yeah.
in their Carabao Cup second round game
Great.
against Norwich City. So, listen, I put a tweet out. Loads of people are going to be replying to that now because Gary Cottrell, just Gary, put a thing out live on Sky Sports at around 4 p.m. saying Guehi's not going to feature tonight. Then at 5 p.m., Guehi was pictured with his wash bag, turned up to Selhurst Park. And then Gary said, well, he may play.
Oh,
Well,
you might now.
Now
Now
that I've
he's
seen
turned up
him
with his wash bag.
walk past us, he may play. But he still was saying he probably won't start. Lo and behold, Captain Guehi starts for Palace. And the worst part about that is he's obviously now cup-tied.
Tremendous. So we're going to spend £70 million club record fee on a player that cannot play in the cup, which we're hoping to win. Got to the final 2 seasons ago. Eddie Howe is eager for a trophy. Carabao Cup would be a lovely first major honour for the club in like 60 years. Oh, but a club record signing cannot play in it. So that's dead good, considering we haven't got any fucking centre-backs until almost the final. The final is normally in February. The Botman and Lascelles are probably going to be out and they'll be back a month or two before that. But it's a bit fucking late for that, isn't it?
It's just another negative twist on the whole transfer saga for me with Mark Guehi now that it's apparently close. Because again, on Sky Sports News this afternoon, they said that they reckon an agreement will be reached between Palace and Newcastle before Friday's deadline. But once again, on top of that, means he won't be able to play in the Carabao Cup for Newcastle United if we did beat Forest tomorrow and get through. And like you say, that's the objective. Win a trophy, go far in the competitions. It's just a bit mad for me because if Palace and us are all still in negotiations, as Sky Sports have said, and these are progressing, the expectancy is that he's more likely to sign than not to sign.
Yeah.
Again, yesterday they said within 48 hours, they reckon he could be on his way to Newcastle for a club record 70 million fee. Parish playing him, risking him tonight. One, just taking the piss out of us again by making sure he's cup-tied. Two, if Guehi goes down with an injury, then the Scup has the whole deal for everyone. It makes no sense to me. That's starting him against Norwich, a championship team.
Yeah.
Where's the rotation, the Carabao Cup rotation?
Yeah, they'll not be asked because on one hand, he's one of our top players. He's obviously that captain. He's our most valuable asset, like without, what's he called, Elise?
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to start them, like, play a strong team, like, Norwich are a decent team, decent championship team, a bit of a yo-yo team, can often appear in the Premier League. But, yeah, they're not bothered. Well, if he's cup-tied, he's injured after tonight, they couldn't give a fuck. They just want to go out, win their game, play their best players. As of right now, he's a Palace player, so they're more than entitled to play him. So I'm not mad at Palace. Like, I'm mad at Newcastle. Get the fucking deal done.
Mad
like,
at Mitchell.
Why we're so far down the line? Like, 24 hours time, we play our third game of the season. Transfer window closes in, 3 days, 4 days? And we haven't signed a key first-team player. So I'm more pissed that we haven't gotten the deal done. Like, Palace are more than entitled to play him.
They are. It's their captain.
Yeah, he's their captain. He's their best player. Like, if they want to play a strong team and get as far in the competition as they can, players that are under contract, play them.
I can't wait to play Palace in the semi-final. And then if he's at us, then he kind of play, and then you can just see that story being written now.
You can imagine Botman comes back, breaks a leg, fucking Shaw's out.
He gonna play.
He's cup tied.
They carry a situation all over again.
It will be. It'd be more than typical if I knew how to do that.
Hey, man. So with that in mind, like I said, the reports last night were that, in the next 48 hours, Guehi could be at Newcastle. Deals nearly agreed for 70 million. We'll just jump to this before getting the rest transfer news, then we'll go back on the Bournemouth review. Do you reckon it's going to happen, Keg, for the 97th time I've asked you this in the past month?
Yeah, I'm still holding firm on yes. It's just frustrating that it hasn't been done by now. And they're asking for more and more money. But I think he's quite clearly our main target, and they're not going to let it lie. Like, when we probably should have let it lie 2 weeks ago. Like, this has gone on. Like, I didn't want this to happen. I'm sure I said when the first initial contact was made, like, I don't want this to be a saga. I don't want this to be good up until deadline day, which it is, bar an eye.
Honestly, man.
Like, I wanted it done before Southampton. I wanted it probably done the week before Southampton. Even the Cellar Cup would be linked to him before the Cellar Cup. I knew when I think it was just released, like the first mention of him was just before then. So I genuinely didn't think you would play in the Cellar Cup, even if a deal was done before then. But we should have had it tied up. Like, I think we said, like, introduce him to the crowd, bring him onto the field at half time, like, put his flag up, the scarf up and stuff. That's when we should have had it done. So he was ready for Southampton. We're getting past Bournemouth. We've got Forest tomorrow. Tottenham on the weekend.
Even Tottenham, you look at now, you think, please, can you get it done by then?
You'll not play against Tottenham?
Nah.
Need chance? No. Like, I think for Eddie Howe, like, he's
Grafton Dummer at the back.
I don't even got Dummer anymore.
Dummer's in the stack. He's on the
Grafton Kelly yet. Back.
Dummer's getting pissed in the stack. You may as well get him run across the road for half an hour.
He's serving up the burgers to fucking...
He's just not
a part-time summer job at the stack.
Goodness me, man. Goodness me.
Yeah, I'm just pissed off that nothing's been done now. Like, it should have been tied up weeks ago. But no, I do think it will be. I think Palace are just playing hardball. They're gonna play funny buggers right up until the end, maximize what we're giving them, which they've already done. So I don't know why he's playing tonight. I don't know why a deal hasn't been struck within the last 24 hours.
No, I mean,
I think we should have pulled out and moved on by now. But they've identified him. They probably would have put hard work in identifying him as the right criteria, the right type of player that can grow and develop and be like a leader, whatnot. So if he's the main guy, then I'm not mad at it. Like, just go and get him. But go and get him. Why is he playing for Crystal Palace? Like, why haven't we just coughed it up? Like, they said they wanted 65 million, offered 65 million. They're like, nah, we want some add-ons. So apparently we've offered the 65 million plus add-ons, and now they're still haven't gotten the deal done. What's going on? It's just annoying at this point. I'm just pissed off. Like, hurry up and get it made, man.
I think most people are at that point as well now, okay, where people are just done with it.
Yeah.
Because when the saga drags on this long, you do, like, well, I think what Stephen said last week's pod, the excitement, the buzz gets out the deal now. See if it gets announced in 2 days' time, you're like, I know. Thank God that's over. More than like, great, we've got a record signing.
Yeah, that's literally what I was just about to say. Like, you asked, like, do I think it'll get done? Yes, I do. But yeah, when it gets done, it's going to be like, oh, thank fuck for that. Whereas if it was before the start, cool, it would be like, get in, we're getting Guehi, like, with new signing centre back before the season starts. Now it's just like, oh, well done, lads. You took your fucking time there, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's not even going to be exciting anymore.
I remember that buzz when we found out the news on that Friday afternoon. I was on the golf course. The Athletic broke it, and Sky Sports broke it, saying, Newcastle are preparing a bid for Mark Guehi, 45-50 million. And the buzz around the place, around social media, everyone was like, get in, what a sign that is after seeing them at the Euros. And then now it's been on for 3.5 weeks. It's just a piss take now, like, it really is. I mean, for me, it's mental because we've known from that get-go that Palace wanted 65-70 million.
Yeah.
And we're still just...
It was more 65, though. Like, 70 is a piss take now.
70's a piss
They've
take.
got our pants well and truly down at our ankles now.
I think they know that, as it's been publicised, it's Eddie Howe's number one target. He's clearly pushed Mitchell to go out and get him. Mitchell's been there negotiating, and they just haven't moved on. Last week when there was links to Tapsoba, players at probably should have just moved on then.
Yeah, I think that was probably a smokescreen, though. I think it was just telling Palace, like, look, let's get the deal done now because we've got options. Well, we're looking around. Like, he's not the only player in the world, and I think we did say that last week. Like, we agreed. Like, if a deal isn't done within the next 24 hours, we said last week, just move on. Like, we need players through the door now, highlighted by Shaw's red card on the opening day. We need a bloody centre-back. Like, Kraft's all well and good in that, but you can't be playing the bloody season with Kraft, man. No. So, like, yeah, that highlighted our need to get him. But now we're about to play our second game without Shaw. And we still haven't got a bloody centre-back in, man. What's going on, man? It's just, it's like laugh or cry. Like, it's just an absolute piss take.
I'll cry Friday night if we haven't got him or we haven't got another centre-back and a right winger, which we'll get into soon after what Eddie Howe said in the press conference this morning. We'll talk all things more transfer in a bit. Let's just have a quick look at the chat to see what you lot are saying. Alistair Bradley, nastiest window since Susan Boyle had Everest round to double glaze her bedroom.
It's a kind of reference, aren't
It is. It's a good reference. I like it. People again just saying, bored of the Guehi saga. People are questioning Mitchell, talking about Mana being gone. 80 there, who's a member though, far too early to judge Mitchell. Everything just seems a little off at the moment. Aaron saying a Greek keg should have pulled out after the third bid. Taking to walk away, says Brian. Adam says it's not happening. People saying, well, just pull out. So you're about to sign a top English centre-back, but it's got the point now where people's patience is wore thin, understandably. Where, as I said before, that excitement around it is kind of gone, and they're like, not asked anymore. Yeah, that does mean he's cup tied now, Daniel, so it's a madness, absolute madness. Buongiorno, Tony, as always. Please put a couple of early questions in. Remember, get your questions in for the end of the show when we tell you to 5-10 minutes to go so we can see them properly. But just rattle through these two. When you see Liverpool possibly signing two of the players we're interested in, do you think the 70 million we're spending on Guehi could have been invested better? And also, if only we sign Guehi, who goes straight into starting 11, will this window be underwhelming? Are you concerned at the struggle to get rid of the deadwood? First question then. Yep, Liverpool obviously signing Mamadishvili. Talked about him at the start of the podcast. And Kaiser. So two people we've mentioned quite a lot. Or heading to Liverpool, definitely Mamadishvili. Kaiser, maybe, because he's holding out for the Barcelona move by the looks of it. But Liverpool do want him, which is strange because they've got absolutely loads of wingers. Yeah. But what do you make of that? Them two going to Anfield?
I think it's more to do with, like, I don't think we're going to say Mamadishvili. I don't really know if we're fully in for him. I think it was more kind of like fan rumors, like he was more like a fan target than an actual target. There's been a lot of links to Chiesa, but again, I don't know if that was genuine interest there.
I think that was people just putting two and two together. Like, we really need a right winger, and this one's decent and for sale.
Available, yeah. They're disappointing, but again, like, it could be the Guehi thing where like we're investing too much time in this. Like, you'd like to think there's more than just Mitchell and Howe and Eels that can get things done. Like, there should be like lines in the fire, like have like a spider web, like to have this player on this web and this player on that one. Like, we need to have we need more than just two signings. Like, yeah, we've got centre back and right wing or one main needs, but there's more than just that we could do with. Now we've got Asula. We're never going to sign another striker anyway, even if we could maybe do with one. An actual goalkeeper instead of the 49 sat behind Nick Pope. Are any of them actually any good or going to challenge Nick Pope? No. Do we need a goalkeeper to challenge Nick Pope? Yes. So there's more than just Guehi that we need. There's
definitely.
So
that's been proven already.
It's just annoying that it seems like we've spent too much money and too much time, I should say, but also potentially too much money on trying to get this Guehi deal done that we're forgetting about what other needs. And if the deal gets done Thursday, we've got like 24 hours of the window left to sign a right winger. Class.
Mental. I like what you said there. You made a good point about the spider web, where I'm thinking, just get a whiteboard. Yeah. Put it on there.
List your players.
And then they should have had it on the whiteboard, right? We're willing to go to 60 million for Guehi. And when Palace said no, right, who's next door? Tapsoba. Yeah. Or Tomori. Yeah. That's what should have happened. I don't know why. I think that's why everyone is pissed off that it's dragged on for so long.
Yeah, and even like the further you kind of go down your list, I know you don't want to go down too far. Like if you want your guy, go get your guy. I fully respect that. Like if he's the one that you want, crack on, get him. But like the more you kind of move down your list of targets, the more money you're ultimately going to save. Exactly. So then you can spend more money. You go across your board. What's my next target right winger? Right, we've got more money because we didn't get Guehi. We've got X, Y, and Z for 20, 30 million pound less. So there's 20 million, 30 pound more that we can spend on a better right winger.
Mm-hmm. That would have made sense. But they've just been so determined on splashing the cash solely on Guehi. And also at the end of that question there on the set run from Lee, struggling to get rid of the deadwood every window. Well, that's ultimately what's really cost us, hasn't it? That's why we're forcing to sell in Anderson and Minter at the last minute for big bucks, because we're kind of get rid of your Almirons, Trippier, Wilson, Lascelles, all these players that are injured or past it or struggling, Almiron, and the list goes on. Like even your Haydens and your Frasers and stuff who are still at Newcastle United Football Club in the last week of the window. Right, let's jump down and get into the crackling keg. Let's go into the Bournemouth review. Got ourselves a draw, 1-1 at Vitality Stadium. Just about, especially with the VAR drama in the last minute. What did you make of the performance then?
Shite!
Great!
It was really shit.
Just about as good as Southampton. I tell you what, I'll put a positive spin on it. We're unbeaten. We've got 4 points on the board. We're 6th in the league, and we've played shite in both games.
Absolutely shit. The Southampton one, like you can kind of respect that one because we got a red card quite early on, and we defended really well. Like yes, we weren't the better team, but we had like the negativity of being a man down. But yeah, we defended really well, got the goal against the runner player as well, and defended the lead and won the game. That's all you can possibly do. Bournemouth was 11 on 11. Not really any excuses. We were just shit.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of times we lost the ball in our own half was ridiculous.
It's the worst I've seen Julian play that since he was a striker.
Yeah. You can maybe argue he should have been sent off. It looks like he lost his head a little bit just after the VAR call. Should have been a goal? That's another question. Should have been a red card? There's a question. But all these things, and like we're just so lucky. Like they took their goal well. Like talk about right wingers. I'll fucking sign Semenyo.
Oh, absolutely.
Semenyo is absolutely unbelievable.
£10 million as well. He cost.
Yeah,
he used to play for Sunderland on loan years
he was
ago.
on loan from
lived
Bristol
in the
City
tune apparently.
Yeah.
Of course he did. Why would you want to live in Sunderland?
Of course he did. What? How much would you say his market value is?
Oh, well, if it's Newcastle, it'll be 85 million.
Yeah, 85 million, 0.2.
85 million, please. There's 400 million up front. And Callum Wilson, Trippier, and Shea Given. Like, just, Newcastle cannon, it'd be mental. I would think realistically, probably about 30, 40 million.
Even 30, it's triple what they spent only 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think 30 million.
That takes Semenyo.
He's
direct. He can score goals. He's both footed. Like, he's absolutely everything that
really is.
Everything Almiron isn't. He's like some Maxima with end product.
Do you know what would be great though? What would make me feel better about it? If say we did think, this Guehi thing dragged on too long. We're not paying 70 mil. Let's go get such and such from the Bundesliga for 35 mil, and let's tempt Bournemouth with a few days left of the window with a 30 million offer. Yeah. 35 million. Or maybe go up to 40, and then you get him, and then you've got a quality young centre back as well, and then everyone's laughing, everyone's happy, everyone's optimistic for the season. You know what I mean? You could go in there and Bournemouth with a decent offer, and they would tempt them. Look what's happened with.
They're a bit of a selling club. Like they can't.
They know where they're at.
Big. They can't like buy for big money, so at least they can get big money.
They just spent 40 million on that Evan Nilsson from the Solanke money.
Yeah.
But they know what they are. They know they're a selling club, and fair play, and they've done amazing with that small ground, the small place, and everything. Decent manager there as well now. But they would be tempted if you went in with a decent offer for him. They would be tempted, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Even what Forest are trying to do at the minute with Brentford, going in for Vista.
Yeah.
15 million rejected today. But if they got him
a lot of money, like,
but he's a good player, man. Yeah. 15 million rejected. If you can get him for like 20 odd, that's a sound deal. And we should be doing the same with Mbeumo. I'll do it. Yeah. Taking the front three, he's gone. Tony Mbeumo, Vista, Brentford.
When I seen the news, I thought it wasn't Mbeumo. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, there's another tune talking. I was like, oh, no, that's Visa.
I'd take Visa, and
I'd take Visa, but I'd rather have Mbeumo.
Oh, I definitely rather have Mbeumo.
Did you see the Premier League's release of players saying their own name?
Yeah.
So it's Mbeumo.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mbeumo?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've seen that wrong for
quite
a few months now on this podcast.
Apparently it's Brian Mbumo. That's how he said it.
Ah, well, he's wrong. I'm right.
I know. It's
Just
Mbumo,
a nice
man.
name, man.
Oh, wait, Brian, it's Mbumo.
The Geordie translation is Mbumo. Stick with it.
Your man dad's wrong. It's Mbumo.
It's going to kill with this, like, isn't it, the way people pronounce the names. Then I bet you Semenyo is not even nothing like Semenyo.
Oh, yeah. I listened to some of them, like some like the Eastern Europeans and stuff. I was like, I didn't catch that. I didn't know what you said, but yeah, never mind.
Newcastle's was the best, though, wasn't it? You see how was that?
It was
when
funny,
like Dan Byrne was like Dan Byrne, and then they came the Greek keeper, and he's like,
they've messed it
up.
They've messed it up like out of context because some people look stupid like Tino.
Aye.
Because like the longer version is telling them to like break it down and say it slowly for like international viewers. So yeah, Tino's like Tino Livramento, and just sounds like a bit of an idiot. He sounds really slow, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's an idiot." I'm like, but I like out of context.
Switched him off there,
and he's Sean Longstaff.
But I don't know why Odysseus was saying his name on like a WhatsApp times 100 speed.
I know. Odysseus, cool. Sound.
Cheers.
Got all of that. No worries.
Yeah, that's helpful.
I'm still going to call him Odysseus. I don't know what his surname is yet.
Vladidomos.
Right, cool.
Vladidomos. He's not going to be at Newcastle much longer anyway. Getting to him soon as well. Anyway. Back to the Bournemouth game though, okay. Semenyo was brilliant. Newcastle were terrible.
Yeah.
I mentioned, Joe Linton had a really poor game in the middle of the park. He was the one that gave the ball away for their goal.
Oh yeah, that was so
everyone was poor. I don't want to just single out Joe.
Yeah.
Even Isaac with the runs and behind and stuff wasn't on it. Anthony Gordon was having an awful game. Yes, he scored the equaliser, but he was awful. His head, everyone was going mental in the Stack fan zone. Saying, "Oh, it looks like his head's turned." That's what you see online and stuff because the Liverpool links. He was off it, but everyone was off it, and we've started the season off it. Both games have looked poor, slow, lackluster. It's like being pre-season vibes to me. And I really hope it changes for tomorrow night. Obviously, when I'm down at Forest for the cup because we want to go far in that, but also for the big game on Sunday at St James against Spurs, which we obviously normally smash them by 5 or 6 goals. But I tell you what, if we start like this, like we'll have done against the lower teams in the league, your Southampton and your Bournemouth, might not be too pretty, like, because Spurs have the players to punish you.
Oh yeah. Like Spurs are always tricky, and we've got a really good record against them at home, so that's the one thing that we have got going for us. But yeah, like why can't we beat Bournemouth? Why are they such a bogey team? Like
it's Eddie Howe, man. He just loves the cherry still.
He does, doesn't he?
Kind of get over it.
Like it's really embarrassing. But even our record against them, like since 2015, I think, is when Eddie Howe and Bournemouth first came up. Like I think we've beat them twice, but neither on this side of COVID. I think last time we beat them away, especially, was when Lazaro was playing.
Brucey?
Big Brucey, Valentino Lazaro, orange shirt, Almiron.
We were watching.
I know. So that was 2019, wasn't it? That was pre-COVID, or was it during COVID? Was that during a lockdown game? Yeah.
It was a lockdown game.
That's bad crack, that, man. Like, we need to be better than that. It's Bournemouth. Like, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but on paper, we should be wiping the floor with them home and away.
I know we're both centre-backs missing, but still, that midfield was strong. The front three was strong.
No excuses, man. It was just a terrible, terrible game.
It was. But, I mean, we didn't wake up until 15, 20 minutes to go, and that was predominantly down to when all 5 subs were on the pitch for me. I thought
subs were good.
The subs were really good. Lewis Hall, Trippier, Willock was a welcome boost as well. Having that energy from midfield where he picks it up and drives at the opposition. We missed that massively. I really hope to see him start tomorrow night, to be honest with you, and maybe the weekend against Spurs. But standout for me was Harvey Barnes. I thought he had a brilliant impact, and obviously he got the assist for Gordon. And is that the solution going forward? Keg is a question. Let us know in the chat as well. Do you think it is? Obviously, if we don't say a right winger, it most definitely is. But swapping them flanks, Barnes on the left, Gordon on the right, to get the best out of both of them, because both of them probably need to be starting, don't they?
Yeah.
Because Barnes won't be happy to be sitting on the bench and Murphy and Miggy are playing ahead of him, but it's finding that balance, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, it is an awkward one, and one that I've thought about since we signed Harvey Barnes last summer, and one that I think I've mentioned over the last couple of weeks when talking about we need for a right winger. Like, both of our best wingers at the club are unfortunately left wingers. So I said, like, Harvey Barnes should be saying to Eddie Howe, knowing fine well that he's down in the pecking order as a left winger. Say, like, can I get some opportunities to play right wing? Like, I can do it. Like, I'm a right foot player. Like, it gives a go on the right wing. I'm better than Murphy. I'm better than Almiron. That would be the way forward. Vice versa, whether it's Gordon or Barnes, I couldn't give a shit.
Gordon played a lot on the right for everything.
As long as they're both on the field at the same time, that would be great. But yeah, I don't know if it is though. Like, in some aspects, yes, it is the best thing to do. But yeah, I think Gordon is much better on the left. I don't think he was involved all that much. Like I wasn't really impressed by him. Like I know like he got the goal like sneaking into the back post, but I think once he moved over to the right, he was more void in the game than he was playing on the fucking left for the first 70 minutes. Like he was shite. He didn't really do much, but yeah, I mean it's a good option to have, like knowing fine well that both of them I think can play on the right, and that's maybe why they're not so inclined to spunk a load of money in the transfer market, knowing that they've got both of them that can do it, which is unfortunate. But yeah, like I think we've shown that we can do it. I think, like I say, Barnes was brilliant on the left, put in a good cross. Gordon was the scorer from the right hand side, cutting in back post. So yeah, why not? Like, give it a go. Like we've got a cup game tomorrow. Like that's a prime opportunity, really. Like Eddie Howe says he wants to rotate, but keep a strong 11. He wants the strongest 11 that he possibly can, whilst rotating. So, is this an opportunity? Like, give it a go. Like it's Forest who are a good team. It's the cup, but yeah, like I'd be tempted to try a couple of things. Nothing crazy, and I don't think this is. Like that's still our two best players, two best wingers at the end of the day. It's not insane. So yeah, like I'd maybe be tempted to give it a go one way or another. Whoever's right, whoever's left, couldn't give a shit. But yeah, give it a go.
I think we'll have to.
Yeah,
because both of them have got way more goal output than a Mayfield.
Oh yeah,
for me, like so. I think that's where we have to go. Obviously, we'll touch on the right wing situation sooner. What Eddie Howe said in his press conference this morning. If you haven't seen my video from earlier, let's talk about the big instance at the end of the game, and Kay, which was obviously the handball that was given by VAR from the corner there. Do you think it was the right call, or have Newcastle got away with it?
I think we've massively got away with it.
Yeah.
And I've had a look at some things that's been released, like I know Match of the Day and Sky put like a graphic on of like the actual rules. So I think by the rules, I don't think it's a mistake. I just think it's extremely harsh. I think was it Howard? It wasn't Howard Webb. Who's the other guy? The bald referee who was often on Sky giving his reviews. Dermot Gallagher.
Dermot Gallagher, right?
Yeah, but he was on Sky, and he says like it was the right call because by law, the new law is it used to be like the sleeve. So this is not handball, but that is. But now it's like the armpit. So like the Noon logo, for the best example, is handball because it's below the armpit. So anything from like the shoulder upwards isn't handball. And I think the ball was kind of like on the sleeve line. So technically it was the right call, but I just think it's harsh as fuck. And I feel like if I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd be raging.
A lot of them were.
Yeah, like I feel really, really sorry for them. Me personally, I don't think it was handball.
No.
I think, like by the letter of the law, it is, but it's just so fucking harsh.
I think it's one of them where obviously we're relieved and we're like, yeah, that's that. They're the rules, right?
Yeah.
We'll take that. But then, like you say, if it's up the other end and Bruno scores,
that was us. I'd be booting the fucking.
You'd be raging, wouldn't you? You'd be raging. But we had a VAR decision go our way, which is nice after obviously the Shaw one not going our way.
But the thing is, like as Bournemouth said, like no one complained.
No.
And I didn't watching it from home. Like
even Eddie Howe afterwards,
even when VAR looked at it, I was like, "What are they looking at here?" And then like, even like the angle, like you couldn't really get like a good angle of it. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know what they're looking at." Yeah, really, because it was kind of half of one, half because like Burns' arm was in the way and all, and you couldn't really tell where it came off. Like it was just an awkward one, and yeah, I think if there was nothing, I don't think it was really clear cut. I think someone said that. I think it might be in Jamie Redknapp in the post conference. Of course, he would because he's a prick, and the next Bournemouth player. But like he was saying, like I forgot what I was saying there. What was I saying?
Jamie Redknapp.
Oh yeah, he was saying like it was really, really harsh. But yeah, I thought it was a bad call anyway.
Well, we got away with one. We'll take that. But listen, it's going to be a long season. There's 35 games to go or something in the league. I'm sure we'll get stitched off a few times, and hopefully a few will at least go our way in reverse. But it finished 1-1. Not a bad result for Newcastle, as I said before. 4 points on the board out of the opening two games.
Scraped the points.
With a difficult away game and the way the game went with a couple of hour suspensions and injuries and that. It's not the end of the world. It's all right. Considering how we haven't really got going or played that well yet this campaign.
Yeah. Do you think Joey should have been sent off?
Letter the law says it wasn't sent off.
Yeah.
Because David Gallagher was saying that again, wasn't he? He was like, no, is it sent off? No, is it red?
It looks worse in real time. It looks like an arm around the neck, but it's actually kind of like arm around the chest.
And then he ran into it a bit, didn't he?
And people do that, like when a team are on the counter-attack, people can like just cross their body and just stop them attacking. And it's a clear yellow card. Like you've stopped someone to making a play. So yeah, it's an absolute stonewall yellow card. But if it was around the neck or a hand on the neck, it's a stonewall red card. But in slow-mo, it looks worse in real time, as Dermot Gallagher said. But in slow-mo, it's more of like an arm across the chest, like high up on the chest. So again, letter of the law, it's not. But it's two calls that I can completely understand Bournemouth will be losing their head over. And their assistant manager got a red card and all, which is so ironic. But he was right to be pissed off, and I completely get it. It's a letter of the law when you slow it down, replays and stuff. Both calls were technically right.
You see it a lot when obviously goalkeepers are trying to quickly get the advantage and get on the break after a corner because the body's at our back. But people are normally a bit more smarter with it than Joe Linton was. Bit abrasive.
Brought a clothesline.
Brutal, like clothesline. They had the big show. Normally people just like kind of knock the ball out of the hand or pretend to trip over the leg or something. Joey's just
get you.
He's a nutter. Absolute nutter.
He is mental.
But I could have seen it where it would have been a red, but for me, yellow by the rules and by the way it is.
It's an absolute yellow card. You can't deny a yellow card. It's just the question of it being a red or not.
I'll take the yellow all day long, thankfully. But Joey needs to. Well, we're seeing he's sort his temper out, but that's what makes him great as well, I suppose.
It is, but I think he
Very
does
keen.
as well. I think his temperament has maybe like I do like it. I think you do need a bit of a temperament, but yeah, I think Joey's the kind of player that can maybe lose his cool a little bit too much and probably will get him into trouble a bit more often than not one day. Like if he keeps going on kind of like the momentum that he's going on, clotheslining and motherfuckers. And last week he was going to stick a nut on Bednarek just after Shaw was sent off. I was like, Joey, man, calm down, man. Take a chill pill, you're all right.
And it ended the game with the fans obviously going over and praising the Tonali, clapping them, but it was Kieran Trippier who got all the headlines and all the clips on Twitter and stuff afterwards because he went over, gave his crowd his shirt to the crowd there, and then he looked a bit emotional, heads in his hands and stuff like that.
On the bench he did, no?
Aye, he was. But he looked a bit emotional. He was waving goodbye and stuff to the fans. Was it just a goodbye for this game, or do you think it's a goodbye as a Newcastle United player? Still linked to leave with a few days to go.
Yeah, I'm not so sure on this one. I think it could be a bit of both. Like I remember we talked about the last game of the season last year, and Bruno was doing the same. Like everyone kind of read far too much into that. Like Bruno was crying and waving and stuff, and everyone's like, "He's saying bye. It's a goodbye." It clearly wasn't. I don't think it was. But with Trippier, it could be because he said I didn't think he'd be on the bench.
No,
I was quite surprised he was on the bench because he literally requested a transfer the day before.
Yeah. So
I was so surprised to see him even on the bench. So for Trippier, it could be a goodbye quite easily. The head in the hands thing, I don't know if he'd be that emotional about it. Like he's only been here less than 3 years. I know he's invested and he's been the club captain and whatnot, but I don't think it's that deep, to be honest. So I don't think it was what everyone thinks it is. But I can understand now more than the Bruno situation why people would think that.
Palace fans were thinking that the other week now when all the videos of he going around on his own, waving away and everything. They were saying, that's his last game. Maybe it would have been if we had paid the money. But
people just read too much.
Yeah, he is playing for Palace tonight. And that was even 2 games ago. We played for them the other day as well. But yeah, people do like to read into things like that. But with Trippier, I've thought he was going to leave all along. But after that performance the other day, he was really good when he came on. We know how much Eddie Howe values him as a player, as a leader. So maybe now, is he more likely to stay? I mean, as it stands, if I had to say, I reckon he'll be starting tomorrow night against Forest, to be honest.
I probably would. More for rotation than anything. And I understand he's kind of requested a transfer because he wants more game time, which is mad, I think, because he's been one of the best right backs since we've signed him in the league. We're captain. Like, no one's going to replace him until Tino came along and he started playing shit. So, for me, and I think the majority of Newcastle fans, and for Eddie Howe, looking at the first 2 games of the season, Tino started, and rightly so. But in the name of rotation, and that's why all summer long I've said whatever happens with Trippier, I'm cool with, because whether he starts, you've got a veteran leader, experience, quality when he's heads out of his arsehole, but also we've got Tino, the young replacement, ready to go. So whoever starts, I'm cool with. I'm not that bothered about. But for everything that Trippier's done for it, I want him to stay. But I also respect where he is, and if he wants to move, I'm cool with that as well. 1 year left on his deal. If he stays, we'll sell him. He's released next year for free. I couldn't give a shit. So I still kind of, I think I expected him to go more, like knowing like he was a bit shit in the Derby under 23s last week, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
His head wasn't really even under 23s game. He kind of pied the fans, which isn't really like him. Mm-hmm. He's put the transfer request in. So last week I was more leaning towards the sign of just get rid of him, just sell him.
Same.
But now I'm kind of back to just being on the fence and not really being bothered either way what happens to him.
I'm the same, I'm happy either way. I mean, if we can sell him and get good money for him.
Yeah.
But at the minute, when you look at Tino hasn't really hit the ground running this season so far in the opening couple of games, like nearly everyone to be fair, in black and white. But you look at it and you think, when you've got Trippier as an option off the bench or in different games like tomorrow night, it's a huge plus. Like,
if you lose him, we're down to Kraft and Ashby.
Exactly. That's the big worry, innit? Especially with our injury record. Kraft's currently playing centre-back.
Yeah.
So,
and I think Kraft's a great fill-in, but Tino done his ACL 2 years ago, and I'm touching wood that doesn't happen again. But what if that happens again? No. Are you really going to play Kraft for a full season? Who done his ACL last year? And Harrison Ashby, who hasn't really been given a chance, who probably might not even. I was going to say might not even be here this time next week. Aye. So yeah, like I'm kind of more leaning towards keeping him. But if he wants to leave, just let him go.
The only thing I would let him go for is if we did get good money, that would really help us reinvest in a right winger. That would be the only time I would let him go. Otherwise, I think it's worth keeping him. Yeah. But time will tell whether he will be here on Friday night and then obviously against his former side on Sunday against Spurs. Yeah. Let's get back into the ingoings then. We were touched on Mark Guehi, so we don't need to look at that one. So you can go back to the start of the pod if you just tune in now about Mark Guehi. But any other player that's looking likely to come in this week, Keg, is a goalkeeper.
Of course we need a goalkeeper.
Because we haven't got 6 already.
Well, we haven't got enough of that, man.
We want another one. The one we linked with earlier in the window, James Trafford, the young English stopper at Burnley. Talks are still going on with him. Apparently, they're being revived after having a 15 million bid rejected for him earlier in the window. Yeah. Now we're looking at trying to get a deal done this week with Burnley. Apparently, Trafford obviously wants to move. He thinks it can happen and will happen. But Newcastle are obviously waiting. This deal is completely waiting on getting rid of Dubravka and or Vlachodimos. So Trafford in, Dubs and Odysseus out. Ian, are you a fan of that, or should we just not bother getting a keeper and just leave it as it is?
I am in fan of it, to be honest with you. Yeah,
you mentioned earlier about giving Pope stiff competition. You'd be better competition from the other two, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because we spoke about this a few weeks ago, and it kind of ended up getting like dead and buried and forgotten about. But now it's revived. Don't walk of dead shit. Like I don't really get what's happening because that happened. Like his rumours died before we signed Odysseus and Ruddy within 24 fucking hours.
Big John.
So that was understandable. It's like, all right, yeah, we've still got Gillespie, we've got rid of Carriers, but now we've got 6 goalkeepers. We didn't need another one. Like Odysseus is fine. Ruddy's experienced. We've still got Dubravka, Pope, and Gillespie. We've got more than enough depth. Why the fuck do we want to sign James Trafford? But now we're back in for Trafford.
Back in for him.
And yeah, it's kind of like back to square one. Like, I think Dubravka has to go. We cannot sign Trafford without selling Dubravka. But with Odysseus, that kind of seemed like a weird transfer anyway. Just kind of want to kind of keep Forrest happy, kind of like a mate, like a handshake. Like, oh, he has like a bag of Haribo or something just to say thanks.
All PSR reasons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All
PSR. Yeah, it was just a bit of a weird sign. So I don't really think we ever really wanted Odysseus.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, we just kind of took him for the crack. That's such a weird sentence in football. And then yeah, like we've got Ruddy, we've still got Dubravka. So yeah, I'd be keen on selling Dubravka, loaning Odysseus to get Trafford in because I genuinely think Trafford is that competition, if not better than Pope. Like he's the younger version. Whether he starts straight away, I don't know. No. But he's at least that competition anyway. Like whether he's a strong backup / replacement next season or a firm competitor who's genuinely going to win the job this season, yeah, cracking. Like any way that we're going to improve our team, I'm all for. Whatever position, whether it's first choice or second choice, it's all important to me. I bang the drum on squad depth and key important players in every position. And he's an upgrade on Dubravka, Odysseas, Ruddy, and Gillespie. Maybe even Pope as well. So, yeah, I'm for it. As long as we sell at least 2 of them.
I really like it. You know, there's I see a lot of people, and I get it because everyone's saying, why on earth are we sending a goalkeeper when we desperately need a right winger and a centre back?
I get that. Yeah.
I get that. But at the same time, the Trafford deal is looking likely to be a loan with an obligation to buy. So it's not affecting us
okay
on FFP.
Because we'll be loaning Odysseas out as well.
We're getting rid of the deadwood. You know, Dubravka.
Get a little bit of money for Dubravka, not a lot.
Yeah, get rid of Odysseas when we didn't want in the first place. So I like it. But let's not forget, you know, Trafford is one of the highly rated keepers in England.
Yeah.
Literally like Golden Glove at the Unders
Didn't
Euros.
concede a goal. Not a single goal.
Pep spoke so high of him when he was at Man City. He's
Didn't
really
want to let
highly
him go,
rated.
but he was never really going to get a game, was he? So,
Nah, he's a top keeper.
Rated,
he's obviously just very young. And for the Premier League, he's going to need to build up that experience. Of course he is. But I think as an understudy to Pope for now, and then I could see him making his way into the team next year.
Yeah.
Like springtime, probably towards the end of the season, maybe last couple of months. Maybe then he starts taking Pope's jersey and showing if he's worth signing on a permanent.
Games and whatnot. And Pope had a big injury last year. Like any injuries or suspensions, cup game rotation or whatever, like he's a firm option. Any minutes that he can possibly get as the number 2, then fantastic.
You've seen how many goals and points Dubravka cost us last year. He just wasn't good enough at all. He's past it now. He's great for us when we first signed. Brilliant. Thank you, Martin. But now, no. And I think Eddie Howe looks at it and think, well, it's him or Ruddy for the number 2 because Odysseas he never wanted. He's going to leave.
Dubravka wasn't on the bench on Saturday.
No, concussion injury apparently.
Was it? I wasn't
sure
what it was.
Yeah.
When I seen Ruddy's name on the
his way out,
team, I was like,
on his way out.
That's a telltale sign for me, mate.
Yeah, Dubravka probably on his way out. Odysseas is linked to Anderlecht, but we need to sort that out. But yeah, I think getting Trafford in is a smart move. I think it's a really good move. It's a keeper that would benefit us because of his state of play now. We know Pope was a great shot stopper, but he is awful.
Did you see he broke someone's head?
Aye, and I'm really not surprised. She's probably the first person that's actually took a picture of it. There's probably another 40 victims out there.
Every away ground he's got to this season, like everyone's getting stitches in the head.
Honestly, he's kicking me. It's infuriating, man. It's so bad.
I don't mean to laugh because some lads genuinely got hurt and needed stitches. But it's funny. Like, that just tells you how. I knew his distribution was bad, but not fucking that bad.
After that, Jason Tinner was like, right, that's it. Get
James Trafford back on the phone right now.
Eddie, I'm going to Burnley after this. I'm not going home. After Bournemouth, I'm going to Burnley. Sort of suit. It was actually, in fact, Director of Football Mitchell that was at the Stadium of Shite watching Trafford. Yeah, he was watching Trafford at the Stadium of Light there against Sunderland, where he conceded 1 and they lost 1-0 to Sunderland, unfortunately. But Trafford, I could see that happening in the next few days. I really could. And I'm a fan of it.
I could not, as long as that's out.
Yeah.
Because we can't have 7 goalkeepers.
No, we can't. We definitely can't, unfortunately. We've talked about Guehi then. On Eddie Howe's press conference this morning, Keg, it was dominated by this following line. A reporter asked,
"Are you a fan of Oasis?"
And he said, yes, but also Blur.
Was it Blur?
Blur, yeah. Blur and Oasis, Eddie Howe likes. But he was asked as well, is all that importantness, that, will you be sending a right winger and a centre-back this week? And he said, no, probably not. Don't have the facilities for that, big man.
Can't afford it.
Can't afford both, which obviously sent...
Richest team in the world, but we can't sign 2 players.
Ripples through the fan base. A lot of frustration, anger on social media. A lot of people kicking right off because that right winger is desperately needed. It has been for years. We've got the same 2 right wingers as we had in a Mike Ashley, man.
Literally.
Rafa
have these completely skipped the Steve Bruce generation. We're 3 years into Eddie Howe. We've still got the same fucking wingers that Rafa Benitez had in 2018.
Nuts, that, absolutely nuts. And on a side note of that, ex-Magpie Mikel Merino joined Arsenal today for €37 million.
Good luck to him.
And they were using Sky Sports News, when Gary Cotterill was saying that Guehi wouldn't play tonight, they were using pictures of Merino in training for Newcastle back in the day.
Yeah, cool. Forget about
Sports footage, aye. Puma kits, Chancellor Mbemba.
Brief time and all. Way too brief.
Mankio, Yedlin, they were all in training. Good times.
In the wheelie bins.
In the wheelie bins. Yeah.
Good times.
But on the right wing situation, and that's awful, isn't it? And it really has upset everyone because everyone was still just lingering on with a bit of hope that, who knows what could happen the next few days. And we still might get someone in on loan. We still might right wing. But Eddie Howe pretty much ruling out being able to sign a right winger as well as Guehi or another centre back. Disappointing news there.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
Very disappointing. Like as I mentioned before, there's options to changed things up with either trying out Gordon, Barnes, maybe it's even Sanusi as a right winger. Like Murphy's more than capable. Didn't have the best games on Saturday. Was it Sunday? It was Sunday, wasn't it? Sunday. Yeah. I keep forgetting my days because it's bank holiday. I'm thrown off.
Mixed up.
Yeah, it was Sunday. Yeah, it wasn't Murphy's greatest game, but he probably was our best player during pre-season. And even over the last year or two, anytime he's been called upon, he's never really been a starter. But he has started a lot of games. Like Eddie Howe is a big fan of him, and he performs. He pulls some good performances out,
especially against Spurs.
Almiron's has his moments. He's inconsistent, but he's got spells. You've got Gordon, you've got Barnes, you've got Sanusi. It's maybe it's like they maybe don't think it's as big as a need as we do. But for me, they're the ones in control, and I'm not going to tell anyone who's right and who's wrong, but I feel like you're fucking wrong.
I will.
Yeah. I feel like we do need a right winger. It is a hugely important position. We've got Murphy and Almiron. It's not good enough.
Have you seen the stats?
It's really frustrating. So Friday, transfer window closes. Our transfer window is Odysseus, Rudy, Trafford, Guehi,
Asula.
Is that a good window?
Probably
3 of them are goalkeepers.
Probably good, but it's not great. It's not going to elevate us to where we need to be.
It's 1 with Trafford, potentially 2 starting 11 players.
Yeah, it's 1, isn't it, really? Because Trafford's not going to start straight away, so it's 1. Like Kelly, someone says there again.
Not much that I forgot.
Lewis Hall, who technically counts but doesn't because he's already been here.
I had him last year. I don't count Hall.
I would say it's good, but it's still a bit underwhelming. Guehi for big money, centre back after the Euros, brilliant.
Club record signing.
But when you look at the team sheet, when the window closes this Sunday against Spurs in the Premier League, and you see Murphy or Almiron as your starting right winger for at least the next few months until January window, that's a bit of a low blow and a bit of a shitter, really, isn't it? It's a bit gutting, let's be honest. Like, as much as I've stuck up for Jacob Murphy in the past, and I like him, good player. Almiron, like you said, in spells, but he's not quite on it. Man, if you're going to be, as the club want to be, in amongst the top 4, trying to win trophies, you're making a rod for your own back, saying that sort of thing, and then not saying the right winger. Because I'm sick of hearing this stuff about, we went with a small pool of players who can improve us. We're fucking not, like. Because the Bournemouth winger that just played against us would improve us. Brentford's winger in Boomo would improve us. Yeah. Many wingers would improve us. Chiesa. Bloody Sterling, Madueke.
Madueke hat-trick.
Yeah, he's not coming anymore, is he?
I didn't know about that signing. Like, I think I said previously I would take Madueke, but he wouldn't, blow us off my seat. But, I'll change my mind a little bit. Take him now.
Apparently he was, getting sniffed around for low moves and stuff earlier in the window. Not anymore. But you never know. Chelsea are going to sign him with 4 players in the next 2 days. So
I'd still take Madueke if he came available.
They're going to sign Ivan Toney, Victor Osimhen, David Beckham, they're going to sign them all. So
Del Piero in on loan.
So it doesn't really matter. But listen, it is quite frustrating and annoying that we, as it stands, according to Eddie Howe, aren't going to strengthen that right wing department. I think it leaves us short in the attacking third, especially depth-wise as well, because it's just.
Even though someone we've looked at a striker,
we've
looked at big name strikers like a Jonathan David. We've signed Asula for 15 million.
Never going to play.
Again, 10 minutes maybe. It is really, really underwhelming for. And I know FFP and PSR and all that comes into it, and everyone labels we're the richest club in the world, so everyone's laughing at it. But I don't understand how I haven't got money.
I know. Not like loads of money. I don't understand what kind of can sign Tony for 60 million or what Chelsea are doing.
I'm not expecting to spend 100 million here. Loads of players.
Man U just spending 50 million on that defender, 60 million on that midfielder. Yeah. I get we're not going to do that, but surely, I think you said at the start of the podcast, but spend 100 million.
Yeah.
Can we not spend 60, 70 on Guehi and 30, 40 on a winger?
We spent a fair bit last year. We spent 55 on Tonali, had to sell some Maximin to be able to afford Barnes, but then we still ended up with Tino, with Tino, Barnes, and Hall's obligation for this year. We spent loads of money.
I know.
And we've had Champions League football, we've got Adidas, we had the documentary. Where the fuck's the money?
I know.
We spent 15 million this summer.
That's what everyone's worrying about now.
What's going on?
And I know
Even after Guehi, we should still have at least 50 million to spend. Like, where's the money?
I think what we'll do is we'll go into that in more depth next week on the podcast when the window is shut, so we can fully judge it then, because who knows what can happen in the next few days. We're talking because this is what Eddie Howe's saying.
Yeah.
But
Eddie Howe was a bit cautious.
Of course he is. The worrying thing for me is that we're going on about FFP. We keep getting it pushed down through it by the club about FFP. We can't do this, can't do that. Everyone else seems to be spending around us.
Yeah.
Fulham are splashing the cash. Is that matter?
Fulham, Villa, Everton, Chelsea,
West Ham.
Yeah. Man United.
Bournemouth.
Hey.
Brighton. Brighton spent loads of money.
What?
That Matt O'Reilly.
Spent 15 million.
That Matt O'Reilly from Celtic, 40 million or whatever he was. He's playing the night.
He's definitely not Danish,
yeah. Someone's saying there, Brighton have spent 150 million this transfer window.
How?
The Seagulls.
How?
Minter.
I must be missing.
We're having to sell our stars to Minter.
Yeah,
the Brain.
Yeah, I must be missing something. Yeah, either I'm not very good at math or very good at with football management or whatever. But I'm missing some memo or something here. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I suppose Brighton did obviously get at least 120 million just for Caicedo alone. They've made some money on some sales, haven't they?
Well, that's true.
And
and that's why Chelsea can spend money. Everyone's like, oh, how can Chelsea spend some money?
Because
they sell loads.
Like,
Mount was about 60, wasn't he?
70, yeah.
60, 70.
Even this window, like Maatsen to Villa for like 30,
Sterling,
40 million.
Aubameyang.
Conor Gallagher.
The centre-back, what was he called? Koulibaly. Tomori. Mendy. Loads. And
Kepa's went on loan to Bournemouth.
Literally.
Lukaku's going to go. Broya's going to go.
Yeah.
Sterling's going to go.
Who we saw? We've got released Paul Dummett.
St. Maximin, Chris Wood, and then Minter and Anderson this year. But when you look around, and you look at it, does me head in because West Ham have splashed, Villa have splashed, but Villa have made some sales as well. But that's what's really haunting us, and that's why I don't think we'll get that right winger in, because Mickey doesn't want to go. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about him hopefully going to Charlotte FC. Didn't go.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go. Doesn't want to go to Saudi. And these are the clubs that want him. We just want to move there. So that's the thing that's costing us massively in this window.
Yeah.
You have to make sales before you can buy.
Someone just buy him a plane ticket and be like, look, Mickey, you can.
You can.
We'll send someone around your house to pack your bags.
Yeah,
Make sure you get your passport.
Yeah. Get some threatening on the gun. A good old threatening on the gun, will you? Force them out. No,
Get the biker boys run with some bitty crowbars.
But that's the way it is for now. That's what Eddie Howe was saying in his press conference this morning. Obviously, a lot of the talk as well in this morning's press conference, Craig, was dominated by the return of Tonali, which is probably going to be the best part of this window, to be honest with you.
It's like a new signing.
It is.
That's maybe what I'm thinking of. Like, these lads never know what's coming. We've got Tonali coming.
He's genuinely the best news of the summer. Really is. I can't wait to see him tomorrow night. I'll be at Forest away to see the return of Sandro Leo. Question is, does he start? No. I don't think he will. Everyone's telling me that he is. I don't think he'll start.
I think it's stupid. He's had 10 months out, and I know it's different because he hasn't had an injury, but you wouldn't play someone that spent the last 10 months out with an injury, would you? Like, it's just more match sharpness. It's not more match fitness. I'm sure he's fit. Like, Eddie Howe's been praising him for the last 10 months. And his attitude, his mentality to training, committing to the club, and like his work ethic and everything's been spot on. So I'm sure he's match fit, but it's just kind of like more that match sharpness, being out of competitive action, not even being able to play behind fucking closed doors, man.
No.
Pre-season friendlies, nout. I think it's stupid to start him. It's great to have him back in the squad, having him as another option. We're not as shallow as we were last year when we were having to start like Miley and stuff when everyone was injured. So for me, I'd bench him for the first 2 games. So Forest and Spurs, try and get him 20, 30 minutes in both games, obviously depending on how the games go, and that you kind of pre-predict their substitutes. Like the game will flow the way the game flows. But yeah, I'd be aiming to get him minutes within these first couple of games, and then we've got the international break, haven't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd just ease him in, get him as many minutes as possible from the bench, and then see what happens after the international break. Probably start the same way, a sub appearance, and then look to like bleed him in. Maybe fingers crossed we'll get past Forest, then look to start him. We'll probably play in the next game just after the international break, probably after the It was a game after. Is it City? City's the next game, isn't it?
City's there, and then I think it's Wolves away. Is it?
Wolves,
after
is it? Yeah, somewhere between
maybe, or maybe someone before that. Actually,
yeah, somewhere between Wolves, City, and the next cup game. If we get to it, that should be where we're looking to get him starting minutes. But for now, I think just take your time with him. Just be happy he's back. Just be happy that we've got another option. We've got another midfielder, new signing, big money signing this summer. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him back. But yeah, just be cautious with him, man. Don't just chuck him in. And I think it's a lot of pressure for him now because he's probably been highly anticipating this moment.
Wolves after the international break on the 15th of September, 4:30, Sunday for a change. Then Fulham away, so back-to-back away games, and then City at home at the end of the month, on the 28th, lunchtime kickoff.
Got the next cup game somewhere between there and now, surely.
So what we want to see is Tonali back, but you mentioned it there, I don't think people, even though we're getting carried away, should be putting their hopes and aspirations on Tonali come back and being an absolute baller and a match winner straight away when he hasn't played any competitive football for 10 months.
And let's not forget that before the suspension, he wasn't really playing the best either, was he? Like Barry's Villa debut, he kind of got pushed out of the team when Sean Longstaff came back because people were talking about that dynamic between him and Bruno. Did the link well? Like, how did they play together? Like, we lost like a string of games, including Brighton 3-0.
Oh, that was awful.
I think Longstaff started the season injured, but when Longstaff came back, he came back into the team.
Everyone was saying there was any balance, wasn't there? We needed Longstaff
back. The balance with Longstaff just looked better, which is mental to think that we spent 55 million on Tonali. Bruno's my star boy. But what we were really missing was Sean fucking Longstaff. But that was reality, though. Like I'm not like chatting waffle here. Like that was a genuine moment that we experienced in that time. So people are forgetting about that. So yeah, but don't just throw him in. Like not when we've got people fit. Like Willock's fit now. We've got Joe Linton, Bruno, Sean Longstaff. Like, we don't need to throw him in there. Just treat him as a new signing, or someone that's just come off a long-term injury. Just ease him in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best method for me. Like, I think if you throw him in there, you risk fucking things up. And I know the first two games haven't really been. There's nothing really to fuck up. We've already done that. But yeah, just be cautious with it. Like manage his minutes.
I know a lot of people are saying he will start tomorrow night. I would be surprised, although it is a cup game. Probably a better game to start him in than a Super Sunday against the Spurs or whatever that was beforehand. But I think it makes sense. You just got to get him in 50, 60 minutes into the game, really. Because you can have that warm-up, you can have the crowd cheering him, you can hear and see that love from the travelling Toon Army, and then he can get on the pitch and hopefully produce some magic. Because it's going to be interesting. Keg, you do your lineup prediction on Twitter and stuff. What do you think we will go with tomorrow? How many changes will we make for the Cup?
Put it out this afternoon. If you want to go and check that out,
check it out.
It's going to be strong because after what Eddie Howe said, he says, he wants to start the strongest 11 as he always does. He wants to play the best team that he possibly can, while kind of managing minutes and rotation and stuff as well. So I've got Pope to stick in goal. Obviously, if Dubravka option, probably not going to play Odysseas or Ruddy. So, yeah, Pope stays in goal. As you mentioned before, Trippier, I think will start. Tino is a starter, I believe. So this is a rotation thing. So Trippier gets minutes from the start, which is absolutely fine by me. Middle two, says the same in Kraft and Burn because we got any fucker else.
Well, literally done. Who's on the bench?
Alex Murphy.
He's meant to be going on loan as well.
Left, I would probably start Kelly again because, again, I feel like that's a rotation option. I think Eddie Howe tried that against Bournemouth. Didn't really work out.
Like, did it?
The sub with Hall proved that it did. So Hall's by far well left back. But Kelly to start, it's a rotation. And I think it keeps Hall fit again for the weekend. So I'd start Kelly. I'm fine with that. Midfield, I'd have Bruno with Longstaff with Willock coming in for Joe Linton.
Willock has to come in for me.
Yeah, so Joey and Tonali on the bench for me with Hall and Tino and Alex Murphy. Isak up top. I think it's too early for Osula and Wilson's still injured, so Isak starts with a little bit of rotation on the wings for me. I think I'd start Barnes on the left wing because he was absolutely outstanding at the weekend.
Definitely deserves a start.
And then probably Almiron because he hasn't started a game yet this season.
I don't mind that in the Cup. Yeah. I don't mind that.
Yeah, so I've got...
If he's not going to get sold, which is very likely.
You've got Pope, Trippier, Kraft, Burn, Kelly, Bruno, Longstaff, Willock, Almiron, Barnes, and Isak to start.
I've got a feeling,
which I think is strong.
Bit of a mad one. It is very strong. which should be one to win a fucking cup. And you're playing Premier League opposition.
Nottingham Forest,
we're not getting any. It's not like we're playing Barrow away, which we hoped we would. But I've got a feeling he might stick to Sula, and I've got a feeling he might. I think he'll definitely get off the bench. Well. Definitely get a bench. But I think there's something about him where he may think, he's like, give him a chance, and if it's guaranteed, I'll bring Isaac on half time, something like that. Yeah,
I think Tonali and Osula, I want to see like minutes off the bench. If Osula starts, I'll not be mad because it gives Isaac a rest. Yeah. But like it's Forest, like they're a decent Premier League outfit, so you've got to take them seriously. And Eddie Howe says that you will start a strong team. I think if Wilson was in there, I think Wilson would start.
Yeah.
But with this one, I'm leaning more towards Isaac starting, just because Osula hasn't been here too long, hasn't had many minutes, still young, and we want to win the game. Like even with Osula, like I say, Forest is a decent team. Like you've got to take them seriously. So yeah, minutes off the bench by all means. Like hopefully, it's not a tough game as it could be. We've had some tough games against Forest in the past.
Oh, we definitely have.
Isaac's penalty last minute, was that 2 years ago? Was it
2 years ago? Bruno, a bit of magic this last season, wasn't it?
So no, I don't want Isaac to play 90 minutes. Hopefully, we've got a decent enough lead that we can give Osula minutes. Because if anything happens to any of them core players, and the only really standout players are Isaac and Gordon in that starting 11 for me, with a lot of rotation. So unless anything happens to one of them two, like get Bruno off at Tonali, Isaac for Osula, job done.
Yeah. Wilson, you mentioned him. He's not going to be back until after the international break. Eddie Howe confirmed this morning, at least probably the international break after that. For a very good couple months. He'll be back for New Year.
Fucking World Cup.
Yeah, New Year. But yeah, either way, wouldn't mind seeing Osula get some minutes. Tonali, obviously, them two at half time would be ideal. To be fair, when they start the lead, I would be interested to see how serious Nottingham Forest take this game, because obviously their priority is probably to build on staying up. So probably look towards top half at a push, big push, but big push, secure mid-table, make sure they're all right. Because they've got aspirations. Look at they want to sign Vista. They've spent some money. Obviously, the main one to run mate is Eddie Anderson. Back national against the Toon.
Yeah, is he played much? I haven't seen much of him in the last 2 games.
He got injured in pre-season, didn't he? So he played against Southampton, though, and Eddie Howe, his pressure this morning, was saying how well he played.
I haven't seen any.
You'll play tomorrow night. You'll play tomorrow night. Chris Wood. Big Woody.
Different type of Woody.
Big Woody.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I can't deal with Chris Wood scoring against us again.
I don't know why I'm going, because if that happens, I'll never go Nottingham again.
Remember Burnley away 2019?
Yeah.
Aye, who scored the 1-0 winner there?
Yeah.
Aye. I'm actually kind of looking forward to Elliot Anderson. Like, obviously, he's one of us. I want to see him do well. Obviously, not against us, but like I want to. Like, I haven't seen anything of him yet. Nottingham Forest, and I really hope that he has a good career.
Yeah. Me too.
So yeah, if he plays and he plays well, but we still win, that's class.
Yeah. Me too. Alanga as well. Obviously, is wanting to know to Eddie Howe really likes who he's got his eye on. When you list some of the Forest players, they've actually got decent sides, especially with. We just said Alanga, Hudson-Odoi as well. I like Hudson-Odoi. He's a good player.
I keep forgetting he's
got a couple of good midfielders, tough battling midfielders. Danilo at the back and that. They've got some good players, man. I hope the rest of you tomorrow night and we easily get through, and that leads us on to the next and final question, Keg. What's the score going to be? Will Newcastle get through to the next round of the Carabao Cup?
I think we will. I think if we'll play a decent enough team. I think a decent enough team, a strong team. I think we've got enough to get past Forest. I don't think it's going to be a whitewash. I think it'll be a tough game.
It will be.
Physical game, close scoring, like a 2-1, 1-0, take that.
Yeah. I've got a feeling. Penalty shootout.
Oh, God's sake. That's straight after 90 minutes, isn't it?
It's got to be decided on the night.
Yeah.
There's no draw. It has to be done. And then obviously the third round draw follows our game. So we'll find out that we get Man City away at about 11 o'clock after pens.
Yeah, absolutely guaranteed.
Just give a prediction now, okay? If we do get through, I'm saying it's going to be 1-1 on the night and we do win on pens. Who we're going to get in the next round of the Cup? Do you think there's going to be that awful?
Big team, yeah.
Away from home, Premier League?
Guaranteed. City, United, Liverpool. Yeah.
He's not even playing. Let us know in the chat quickly, people, before we sign out. Who do you think we would get in the next round of the Cup if we beat Forest tomorrow? Obviously, the pattern seems to be continuing from last year, the awful cup draws. The first one that comes to mind for me is Liverpool. Yeah. I just think I'd be like Liverpool away. It's not going to be at home, is it? We'll never get home draws.
Because we didn't get them last year, did we? We had City twice, beat them in the Carabao, and United
Well, Man United
lost to City. Was it quarterfinals in the FA Cup?
Yeah, Chelsea in the quarterfinals of the Carabao.
You had Chelsea, yeah. We haven't had Liverpool yet.
And Liverpool in the while. They're the last of the big four. Or Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal on a Monday night.
Liverpool or Arsenal away, guaranteed.
Be all for that. People in the chat there, 3 of them saying Man City in the next round. You just know it, don't you? You just know it. But either way, let's hope we get the job done first tomorrow night against Forest, and then we can worry and whinge about the awful tie we get after that.
Maybe Barrow at home.
I mean, that would be great. That would be great.
Class.
I can't remember who Barrow have got. They might be playing right now. The games have just kicked off Tuesday and Wednesday for the old third round games. Apparently, someone said in the chat before, Palace have took a 1-0 lead after 2 minutes. Or Grimsby or 1-0 up would take Grimsby going back to Blundell Park.
No, I'd be class that. Love Grimsby. Who else we got? Barrow's at home
playing
Derby
tonight. Borough getting beat off Stoke.
Stoke's beating Borough at half time.
Brighton Crawley 0-0. Fleetwood Rotherham 1-1.
Everton Doncaster.
Harrogate Preston 1-0 Preston. Leicester got Tranmere Rovers. What I would have done to the Tuesday night home at Tranmere Rovers. QPR Luton 1-1. Watford 1, Plymouth 0. Loads of games. Palace are indeed 1-0 up. Kamada.
Yeah, the fuck's Kamada?
See, they went. He's good, you know. The Korean striker, I think he is. Yeah. Mateta Eze and Kamada as the front three. He's the LEC replacement. He might be decent.
Right.
Meant to be decent. There we have them, people. That's enough for this week's episode of the Magpie Channel podcast. We will be back next Tuesday, as always, live at 7 p.m. Finally, the transfer window will be closed and we'll have no more transfer rumours to talk about.
Hopefully we've got some new fucking science to talk about.
Hopefully we've something to talk about. That'd be great. Because we've been doing this for months now and haven't had anyone of any note to improve our starting 11. So let's hope this time next week we're through to the third round of the cup. We've smashed Spurs 6-1 again, and we've got 2 or 3 new signings in the door.
Maybe a bit more of a positive podcast.
It could be.
It's been a bit pessimistic, this one, isn't it?
Or it could be very pessimistic next Tuesday because we might be knocked out the cup.
Fucking knee signings.
Knocked
off Spurs.
Knocked out the cup. Beaten 4-0 off Spurs. Haven't signed anyone, and Trippier got sold. Good night. Let's hope not. We'll wait and see, people. Cheers for watching as always. Thanks to everyone that's listened on all audio platforms. And remember, you can head over to War Beer and get yourselves some lovely, lovely beer. Scan that QR code as well to get involved. Cheers for watching, everyone. Subscribe to my channel TV and enjoy yourself.